Welcome back to my one take trading education video series. In this one, I thought I'm going to talk about how to actually master the art of losing. And you might think like, oh, but I'm in trading to make money and win. Why should I bother to learn the art of losing? Well, my friend, there are three things that are guaranteed in life: trading, taxes, debt, and the third one is a losing streak in trading. You can have the best strategy in the world, but all traders, even the best elite traders, always have losing streaks. It is just part of the game. It's just the market doing what it usually does. You could be Real Madrid, have the best team in the world, have Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo up front, and even they encounter losses. It's just part of the game. So the first step I would say is accept, as I said, losses are inevitable. There is literally nothing you can do to prevent it other than not trading at all, which I'm pretty sure if you guys are watching this video, you obviously want to trade. The next tip would be to control your risk. So as soon as you see the market conditions change and okay, it's like loss 2 or 3, the first thing I would immediately do is just cut risk or even like trade on the paper account just to feel like you're in a trade. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but to at least be more confident in seeing your analysis play out. Because what's been happening to me recently, I think especially in the month of March, and I think the last 2 weeks of March, they were very little red folder news during the New York session. So what ended up happening was that most of the time the trade would just expand way before the New York session, or my trading window to be specific, which is I think 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. New York time. So what would happen is that the move would already be done, and then the price would just consolidate, and this would just leave me with no trade. And if that's happening once in a while, that's like fine. But then this has been happening almost every day for like 2 weeks now, where I've been missing the move, and to be honest, it's quite frustrating. You take a challenge, especially if you're like a futures account, you want to pass it soon. You're in like your phase 1 and your phase 2. And I know patience for me personally has been the hardest part for my journey, if I'm being honest. But because in life, whenever I wanted something, I would just get it like straight away. And I would never have to like, I would get it with like my own resources, obviously, not like using my parents or like anyone else. But yeah, as I was saying, so the first thing I did was obviously cut my losses, reduce the risk, and worst case scenario trade on the demo account. The next thing I would do is I would try to adapt my strategy. So like if this is just like a few days, it shouldn't matter, but this has been going on for like a long time now. And what I started doing was my same strategy. I essentially started backtesting it and forward testing it in a high time frame. It's just the 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour time frame. And for my back testing, I can conclude that the 2 hour was the perfect blend of like finding like a 1 or 2 setups a week with a high win rate. So like what I've noticed is that I can just completely ignore my 5 minute setup completely and just focus essentially on like the high time frame. And from what I saw was that yesterday on the 2 hour time frame, I think price went all the way to the new week opening gap. This is as of what day is it? Today, 27th, I think. Yeah. It's almost giving you like a 5 hour trade, risking just 1%. And then it did the same thing today as well, which is I think 27th. Another like 2-3 hour trade at the bare minimum. I'm trading on the 2 hour inversion, which is I essentially traded inversion for value gap. So this is another useful, tool to take into your arsenal, because you can't just only rely, because I used to be a strong advocate of one strategy, one session, one time frame, that's it. But what I'm doing is that I'm essentially sticking to the same asset, just same strategy as well, but I'm just modifying the session. That way I'm more flexible and I'm not like chasing any setups or lowering the quality of trades just because I missed like my usual setups in the New York session, And the next thing I will say is learn from every loss. And this is why I say it is so essential to like journal. And I used to like avoid journaling for like almost 3 years, my trading journey at the beginning. And then it also got to a point when I would be in the continuous winning streak, I was after like 8 to 12 trades, I always just stop journaling because I'm like, I already know what's going on, I already know why this is a winner, I don't need to like journal it down. But then one day I just got too overconfident that I ended up going on tilt and I ended up giving back some of those profits. And I realized this is because I was just too overconfident and I was not putting the work in to actually journal. So if you're not putting the work in to actually journal, you're definitely not going to put the work in to actually stick to your rules on a day-by-day basis, because you can be profitable for like, I don't know, like 12 trades, and then you can just have 3 bad trades with bad risk management, which is just going to throw all of it out of the window. Yeah, so this is what I've essentially been doing in my free Telegram and in my VIP Discord, where we have essentially made over 130 hour, all called live. I haven't deleted a single setup since since July of 2024. Around 130 hour, risking just 1% per trade, which is quite good if you ask me. So over the next few videos, I'm essentially going to go over me backtesting my new swing model. And this model is, if you master this model on the Nasdaq, it's essentially going to enable you to leave your 9 to 5 and just like hand in your notice, and that's about it. And having a flexible day trading model and a swing trading model with the same asset is exactly what you need to become an even better trader. And that's all from me today, and on to the next. To be honest, I do want to add one more point, because like you can do everything correct and still take a loss, and it's not even your fault, it's just the market. Because at the end of the day, it's just probabilities, you know. Like for example, I mean, obviously you have like your win rate could be like 75%, 60% still, but you don't know the order of the trades. Like out of the next 100 trades, you could have a win rate of 70%, but you could also lose 8 to 10 trades in a row. And if you don't manage your risk properly, like you could honestly blow like your funded accounts. That's why I say like usually if I'm above 5% in drawdown and you have 10% drawdown left, I just cut risk in by half. So I'm risking 0.5% instead of 1%. And as you know, as soon as I see the losing streak end and I have like a few good wins, I just increase the risk back up again. So let's say my balance is at 95%, I would immediately cut risk 0.5%. So I lose the next 2 trades, about 94%. I win the next 2 trades, depending on how much I get, 1.5 hour, 2 hour. I'm back on like a 95, and then I increase my risk back up to 1%. In this case, so like this way, if I'm losing 10 trades in a row, like the max I will lose is 7.5% instead of losing 10%, which is quite good. Because after 5 trades, you're just, you're cutting your risk down in half. And that's it from me today, and I'll see you in the next video.